Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall-Greider. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall-Greider.
Welcome, everyone, to the show today. I'm really excited about what we're going to be talking about, the amazing guests that we have, and our goal to really empower you, to equip you to go out there and shine. And the best way to do that is to bring more of you forward. That's the greatest gift that you can share with everyone around you. Today, we're focused on what are your natural strengths? How do you determine that and utilize that information? And then money. What is your money code? What is your relationship with money? And how knowing that can really equip and empower you to step forward in a powerful and dynamic way. Our two guests today, we have Naomi Tickle, who is an international speaker and specializes for over 20 years in how to read faces and how that information can help you in career and relationships and really tap into your natural innate abilities. Vinca Heart, who is a speaker and award-winning coach and the creator of the Money Codes, has joined us as well, and she will be really sharing with us how to tap into your relationship with money and how to actually have that work with you rather than against you. So I want to welcome both of you to the show today.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you.
Glad to have you. And listeners, I'd like to just make you aware of certain things because I get questions after the show or during the show, and people are wanting to know how to connect with us because we love your connection. We love your questions, your calls. So I wanted to give you that information right up front. So when you hear something that sparks you, you'll know how to connect with us. So there's a call-in number that you can use, which is 888-346-9141. Again, that's 888-346-9141. And then you also can send me an email directly. If you look below the banner of the show, just above the description, you're going to see little links that you can click on. One's to follow me on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. Please do so. I love that. And there's also a gray box you can click saying, send a message to the host. So that's a great way to connect with us, ask us questions during the show, and I will work as many of those in during the live show as I'm able to. Also, we're going to be talking about free gifts, so make sure that you listen up for those. They're great opportunities for you to get valuable tools and information, as well as connect in an easy way with our guests on a deeper level, which I know you're going to want to as you get to know them through our show today. So that link is on the page that you are listening to the show on. If you look over on the right-hand side, you're going to see links. It's the top link there. It's a yellow-orange color, and it says free show gifts. So you'll want to make sure to click that, check out the free gifts, register so you can really download the amazing offers and opportunities and information and tools that they're going to make available to you today. Last week, I had talked with you about my grandmother, and I had shared how she has really created this ripple effect in my life and in many lives. And I got such positive feedback that it was really laid on my heart to share with you about another one of my grandmothers. And I thought it fit beautifully into our subject matter for today, of really helping you step up and step out and shine, really bringing the gift of who you are forward. So my grandmother came to live with us. This is Grandma Garasio. She's my Italian grandmother, and one of those ladies that is compressed big. I don't know if you guys know people like that in your lives, but they come in this petite, small package, but there's a lot of power there. That's my grandmother. So when Grandpa passed away in high school, she came to live with us for a while. And I had the opportunity to really get to know her as a woman, as a friend, as a mentor, not just as a grandmother. And we used to take walks together and do Bible studies and manicures, pedicures. We loved watching those old black and white movies, especially the romances, and really built a beautiful friendship and relationship. But there's this one behavior or quirk that she had that just made me want to hide, and it really made me uncomfortable. And I didn't know how to deal with it. And as much as I loved her, I always kind of cringed because of this particular behavior. And I don't know if some of you have people that you love in your life and you greatly admire, but they have either this quirk or this behavior that you just kind of cringe a little bit, and you know it's coming, you can't stop it, and you just try to ride through. And that would happen when I went to the grocery store with her. And we're going aisle by aisle. I see the aisle where I know this behavior is going to happen. And so I'm looking around, hoping people aren't in the aisles. They're not going to witness this. And I'm trying to be cool and cover and minimize. Like, that's my plan of attack for this. And it was in the bread aisle, because my grandmother is a bread squeezer. And we're talking an Italian bread squeezer. So not a subtle process. Because we would go through the breads and she'd be crunching and checking and squishing, and I can't believe they're serving this. What is this? What are they thinking? We can't serve this. This is old. This is dry. And we go through this whole not quiet, subtle commentary to find the right bread. And then we'd finally select it, and I would be looking for that quick exit. I had behind the scenes been trying to softly test the bread to find one that would pass scrutiny so we could get out of there. And I remember one time I stopped my grandmother and I went, "Grandma, we can't go around squishing bread. It's not done. This isn't our bread." And I remember she looked at me, and it's like the energy shifted. She stood, and it was as if she had put her hand on her hip, and she looked me dead in the eye, and she goes, "Rebecca, what are they going to do? I'm the grandma." And she actually added this little hand flick, and what are they going to do? I'm the grandmother. I'm the grandma. And I didn't have a response for that. I didn't quite know what to say, and just kind of looked to get out of the store and didn't really appreciate her comment because she wasn't getting with the program. But when I looked back on our life, especially during that period and going forward, what I learned from her is that's how she embraced life. It was unapologetically. It was bringing her fully forward and not waiting for permission, not waiting for someone to show her exactly the path to take. She really brought who she was, learning where she started and stopped now that Grandpa was no longer here. She learned to line dance. She learned how to handle all that money stuff. She got a sports car that was silver, go 25 down the road. That was my grandmother, and she has given us this legacy to really step forward and ask that question, what are they going to do if I show up in this way, or if I step out in this way, or if I bring this part of me forward? And what I have found when I've been willing to do that, people have welcomed it. It's like they can finally see me, and their lives are enriched, and my life is enriched when they're willing to do the same. I think so often we wait for permission, or we wait for someone else to say it's okay, or even suggest how we can show up better. Whereas I think if we started to ask that question more, what are they going to do? I'm the, and it would be your name, not my grandmother's or not grandma, if I really brought myself forward, if I really shared that gift with others. So this is what I would like you to do. Those of you that are driving, you won't be able to participate in the same level, but those of you that are able to, I would love for you to stand up. And if it helps you to put that hand on the hip, then do it. It helps me to shift that energy. And what I want you to do, shut the door if you want, if you're afraid people are going to look at you. I want you to actually do this. I want you to stand up, get one hand on your hip, the other one ready to do the flick of the wrist, and what are they going to do? I'm the, but you say your name. So on the count of 3, make sure you've got your hips ready here, your hand ready. 1, 2, 3. What are they going to do? I'm the Rebecca, or I'm the Sally, or I'm the Vinca, I'm the Naomi. Let's try it on the other hip. Are we ready? 1, 2, 3, What are they going to do? And guess I'm not hearing you. So we're going to do it one more time. Are you guys ready? 1, 2, 3, I'm the... Did I hear you, Vinca? Naomi? Good. What are they going to do? I'm the... Great. Good. At least they're laughing. That's a good sign. That's a start. And then if I can have you go ahead and sit yourselves back down, but feel free to bring that kind of powerful, a little bit of sassiness, questioning energy with you. Because I just think what an amazing world this is and can be as we're willing to ask that question and we're willing to bring ourselves forward. So what I would like us to do is to just think for a moment, what is it that I can do? Or is there a way that I could just bring a little bit more of myself forward? Something that energizes you, something that you love that maybe you haven't shared with others. Maybe it's a way that you like to connect and really thinking about how can I bring that in to my life, into my business, into my friendships in a richer way? How can I share more of me with others? And I will tell you, you can ask any of my grandmother's grandchildren, any of her children, and you just do that flick of the wrist, or you ask them, hey, what are you going to do? They will finish the sentence. We are all trained to ask that question and to really approach life with that attitude about really what are they going to do? There could be amazing things that happen when I show up, when I share more of myself with others. So I invite you, as we're getting ready to go to commercial break, to really sit with that question and see what is coming up for you. What is it that I can share more of and bring more of me forward in life? And then make sure to check out those links. Send us a message. We love to hear from you and look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
Your people are waiting for you.
Do you speak to have more impact and grow your business? Your people are waiting for you, waiting to hear your unique message. Learn to speak more effectively on the Speakers Summit, a free summit designed for speakers like you. More info at thespeakersummit.com. Your people are waiting for you. Are you ready for them?
Your people are waiting for you. Be ready.
Have you friended us on Facebook yet? Why not? Just go to facebook.com/Voice America or search for the keywords Voice America. Once you are part of our Facebook network, you'll receive daily messages about what's happening with our shows, this week's featured guests, and new happenings of the Voice America Talk Radio Network. And you can add your voice to the always active discussions on our wall. Just go to facebook.com/Voice America or search for Voice America.
We're making it easier to listen to the Voice America Talk Radio Network wherever you go. In addition to listening live, you can check out information about your favorite talk show hosts, discover new talk show personalities, add shows to your list of favorites, and listen to all our show archives on demand. All from your iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android. Download it from the Apple App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market, and get ready to tune in. The Voice America mobile app, powered by Aircast.
Build your better business. Achieve that goal. Make good on that resolution. The Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall-Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to empowering women, transforming lives.
Welcome back. While we were on commercial break, I was chatting with our guests a little bit and just talking about how we can really bring more of ourselves forward and preparing them for the next things we'll be talking about, so I didn't catch them off guard. So what I wanted to do is bring us into our heart a little bit, really focusing on what it is that you need today that we can pour into you. And when you're running around or distracted or going this way and that way, it's really hard to receive and to value and understand on deep levels the information that's being shared with you. So what I invite you to do is just take a moment and close your eyes, unless you're driving. Do not close your eyes if you're driving, but just kind of mentally turn inward. Take a deep breath and put your hands on your heart and just ask yourself, self, what is it that I need today? What is it that I'm looking for? And just see what comes up. Is it encouragement, connection, information, clarity? What is it that you need today and this week to move you forward? And just pause for a moment, taking deep breaths, and see what comes up. And I invite you, as a word or a phrase comes to mind, to write that down. Capture that information. Because if you know more of what you need and more of what you're looking for, it's a lot easier to find it. It's a lot easier to recognize those opportunities or that information that can serve you on your journey. And for me, the word that keeps coming up today is connection. Really connecting at a deeper level with each of you and bringing connections to support you on your journey and connecting you to deeper parts of yourselves so you can connect in a more powerful way with those around you. And Vinca, I didn't know if you had a word that came to mind as we did that and we were touching in with our hearts.
Yeah, and from the word for me is it is so inspiring to listening to you, by the way.
Aw, thank you.
You know, when we listen to our heart, the biggest important thing is to, and I got really inspired and reaffirmed by what you were just sharing about your grandmother and the whole thing of, you know, who am I and how to stand up for yourself more. And I call it like losing the composure, you know. We're so composed about everything. And to let it rip and to, you know, be completely ourselves without composure, because the composure is always the one thing. The word is so keeping us small. You know, we have to be composed when we are building our business. We have to be composed when we're with our family and never really share or show how we really feel. And to really letting go of composure, I think, is very freeing for women. So thank you for reminding us.
Oh, thank you for sharing. Yes, I agree. Those uncomposed moments are truly powerful, and we can connect in such a deeper, more real way. Absolutely. Absolutely. Naomi, how about you? Did you have something that came up on your heart that you would like to share?
Well, you know, I enjoy the work that I do, which helps people to reconnect with who they are. And formerly it was known as Personology, and I now call it face pattern recognition. And it provides people with a map or a template to reconnect with who they are and to discover both their strengths and challenges. And so many times we go through life and we get all this negative input from so many people, we begin to disbelieve in ourselves. I remember working with this woman because I do the assessments from photographs, and I noticed she had what's called the perfectionist trait or the critical trait, when the outer corner of the eye is lower than the inner corner.
Mm-hmm.
And she also had more head behind her ear than in front, so she would run her father's criticism in her head over and over and over until she was about in her 70s, early 70s. And after working with her, I said, you should really be doing coaching or career counseling. And she said, it's something I've always wanted to do. I said, you were born this way. This is the way your brain processes information, but it's up to you to let go.
Mm-hmm.
You can run that in your head over and over, which is very much what the person we call backward balance tends to do. Or you can say, no, there goes my head again. I'm going to change my life. It's time, as I say, to open the door and take a step outside. And she actually took up coaching and moved forward, but up until she was 72, her father's criticism had held her life, put her life on hold. And all I did was validate. It's not pointing out where you're critical. It's saying, look, you see mistakes that other people miss. And you inherited this from your parents and your grandparents and your great-grandparents, because you can see these traits going all the way through the previous generations. And it just helps her to understand that, everybody with this trait experiences the same as she does.
Yeah.
And their criticism is meant to help, but we hear it as criticism, and we allow it to impact our lives. The same with a man in Australia. He's told he had no brains, work with your hands. And he became so bitter that his lips became very thin. And what happens when the lips become thin? The muscles pull them in. Like, no one's going to hurt me anymore, it's impacted emotionally. And I'm happy to say that this man, even when he got married, his father said to his wife, I don't know what you married him for. Or his uncle, actually. But he went on to be a very successful currency trader, and he's now practicing my work out there in Australia, and he's there to help other people make a difference. So what I love about what I do is it is making a difference throughout the world, and that's my passion, that's my legacy I want to leave, is to help people better understand themselves, their partners, their children, and be more aware of their style of communication and that of others, without criticism, but from understanding.
Yep. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing. That was going to be one of my questions. So you jumped right into it, which is great, about kind of your why and why what you do and the work that you do in helping people understand their innate abilities by reading the face is so valuable and important. So thank you for sharing that. And I wanted to do a more formal introduction so they just know a little bit more about you. And Naomi Tickle is an author. She's an international speaker. She's been featured on CNN, NBC. She's been on multiple TV shows, radio shows, has several books out. And Naomi, I want to make sure I do this justice, but so I want you to explain this further, that you were recently selected as a keynote speaker for a health summit where you'll be sharing the stage with Dr. Oz and Martha Stewart. Do you mind sharing a little bit about that, as well as for those of us who are local in the California area, if I remember correctly, that could perhaps see you there or engage in some way?
Yes, that's going to be held next week on the 13th and 14th of June, and it's being hosted by the Lions Club. It's the Peninsula Special Interest Lions Club, and they set this up, and I'm going to be one of the keynote speakers there, along with, as you mentioned, Dr. Oz and Martha Stewart, plus several other people. So it's a health summit, and I'm going to be giving a couple of workshops there, as well as my keynote speaking, and the workshops are just to teach people how to recognize these traits, and I'll also be offering some mini readings after the workshops at my booth. And so if people want to buy one of my books, and talking about relationships, my new book has just been released. Who am I? Who are you? And the purpose of it is to help people better understand each other. So the whole conference is about health and well-being, and it's going to be in Santa Clara at the Santa Clara Convention Center on Friday from 1 to 10, and on Saturday from, I think it's 9 to 5.
Perfect. And they could just Google or look that up if they wanted to attend and be a part of that.
Yes, it's CYF Health Summit.
Okay. Say it one more time, just in case they didn't see that coming.
Charlie, YF as in Frank, healthsummit.com.
Perfect. Thank you. And I met Naomi at a conference that she was speaking at, the WOW conference, and just was fascinated by all of the information that she was sharing, and the ski jump nose versus the other kind of nose, and I forget the term for the other nose, and how insightful the information that she was sharing, and the audience was just mesmerized. And I had the opportunity to come and do one of those mini readings, myself and a friend, and we recorded it and found it so accurate and insightful and affirming on some of those inner poles of our heart that we see. So I really encourage people to go to that conference if they're able to. Take Naomi up on the opportunity to have that mini reading. It's very affirming. It's very positive. And her books, I have a couple of them, are just wonderful. Really great tools to understand yourself better, as well as people out there, just by understanding, like you were sharing, Naomi, just even the tilt of the eyes or the nose or the forehead, and understanding what that says about somebody. So really, really powerful tools.
Yeah, well, this was started back in the 1930s by a judge.
Mm-hmm.
And he, with a group of men, did all the research behind this on over 10,000 people and came up with a system that we use today. And we have special tools that measure the width of the face, the slope of the forehead, position of the ears, and so forth. And we also measure the eyes. And then they came up with an 88% accuracy, and it applies across all cultures. So there's no one trait that we say, comes from this culture or that. We all come from the same. We all have the same traits. We all come from the same source, and it's a great tool for, as I say, understanding people. And after they did their studies, they went into the freshman Air Force, and they were invited to go in and see if they could determine who would stay the course, and had a 97% accuracy, and they even indicated the type of aircraft they fly. And later I met a man whose father was a part of that study, which was truly fascinating. And they've done various studies over the years, and it's been an amazing journey. I work with people all over the world, and they say they feel understood for the first time.
Yep, which is such a valuable gift. I was just thinking about the story you were sharing about the woman earlier that for so many years of her life had felt critical of herself and not understanding, and really being freed and in a sense affirmed to go after something that pulled at her heart is such a huge gift. And speaking of gifts, I did want to give you an opportunity to share about what your free gift is, so that people can see if that resonates with them, and certainly take the opportunity to click on that link and say yes and connect with you further.
Well, what I offer is, I'm offering as a free gift is a relationship compatibility profile. And you send in both photographs, full-face photographs, to my email address, and I will send you back a complimentary mini-reading. And it just gives you a heads up about what to better understand each other, and how you're coming across to your partner. So say people with close-set eyes can sometimes, when they get really agitated, can become really snappy. Well, my question is, what is it like when someone snaps at you? So you'll be aware of that, and vice versa. And then I know that Inca's going to be talking about money and things like that. Well, you'll find that individuals with ski jump noses, they have a hard time saving. It's here to spend. Whereas people with the more convex or the Roman-shaped nose, how much does it cost? Is it worth it? And can I get it for less? And I remember being in an office of a financial company in San Francisco, and they all were looked like lookalikes because they all had the same shaped nose, the money nose. The value of money and how much does it cost, and then the close-set eyes is very detailed. But talking about close-set eyes is that when people have close-set eyes and more head behind their ear than in front, these people can worry about things and recall the past over and over. It can take them down to a very low point in their life. So what I say to my clients is, everybody who has this trait combination goes through exactly what you go through. You're not alone out there. And here's how to work with it. As you were mentioning in a previous program about running the past, it's very hard for them to let go of the past. And their anxiety level can get bigger than life itself. So my solution to that is take a walk, turn on some music, go for some exercise, go dancing, do anything to distract yourself. And that will help you to let go. And you can say, oh, there goes my head again. I know what I need to do. And that's where it's being aware and then taking the action that helps you move out of that space.
Great. Thank you. Thank you on two levels. Thank you for sharing those quick tips and things to be aware of. And then secondly, making that compatibility assessment, relationship compatibility assessment available to our listeners. I appreciate that. And I know that will be really, really valuable to them in enhancing their communication and their connection. We're getting ready to go to commercial break. While you're doing that, while you're enjoying your break, I encourage you to check out our links, send us a message, and we'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
We're on Facebook along with some of the greatest minds of the world, and that includes you. Visit us on Facebook at Voice America Empowerment.
We all want peace. We all desire a more meaningful life. We work hard to achieve these things, but at what avail? The key is authentic living with Andrea Matthews. Andrea will interview some of the great spiritual experts of today and will provide wisdom to help you raise your consciousness to the level of your own I am. Your authenticity can give you miraculous gifts, but you have to know how to get there. Listen for Authentic Living with Andrea Matthews. Heard live every Wednesday afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Time on the Seventh Wave Network. Get ready to experience a more fulfilling lifestyle. Tune in to Direct Connect Empowerment with host Fee Mazanke. The show will feature guests who have changed their lives by using the Direct Connect coaching program or have worked with the same concepts that this program offers. By hearing how others have been transformed, you will be inspired to move forward. Direct Connect Empowerment with Fee Mazanke can be heard live every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
Tune in to the Voice America Variety channel on the Voice America Talk Radio Network. Voice America Variety broadcasts a diverse array of topics, reaching a global community. Our experts come from all walks of life, and the topics they discuss are everything from current events, arts and entertainment, leadership, parenting, relationships, self-improvement, career advice, and a variety of other topics. Check us out today. You're sure to find something of interest. Voice America Variety. Talk on today's hot topics.
Find out what makes the most successful people tick. Keep listening to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall-Greider. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back. I hope you all enjoyed your break. And I wanted to share, I had a question that came up on the last show, and we ran out of time to be able to address it live on the show, so I wanted to make sure we talked about it this time. And the comment/question was, Rebecca, I love your guests and who you are bringing on, and they're diverse, and they all have different personalities and perspectives and information. How are you finding your guests? They're just authentic. They're being who they are. How do you find them? And so I wanted to respond to that. And I do it through a speaker talent search, because I have a lot of live events that I do. I have a lot of shows that I'm looking to bring speakers into. And I really want to see the heart of somebody. I want to see how they present and connect before I have them on my show or I have them at one of my events. And I found community leaders in the Bay Area felt the same way. So we combined together. And right now we're actually looking to fill over 500 speaking engagements on stage, on video, teleseries, telesummits, as well as live stage and radio. And so if that's something that resonates with you, or you are wanting to be on my show, I encourage you to look at the banners on the top, and you're going to see one that says, "Are you looking for more speaking opportunities?" Click that, and it will take you to a page that will share information about the talent search and how to be a part of that. It's going on right now. The deadline's June 25th, so if that does spark an interest, I encourage fast action. You can also go to my website, www.yourpurposedrivenpractice.com, and on the front page you will also see information about the talent search. But that's how I find my speakers and really know their hearts and things, and am able to bring that energy to the show because they're willing to share part of who they are in the selection process. So great question. I appreciate that. And our next guest is Miss Vinca Heart. Vinca is a friend of mine, a mentor, and I am so blessed to have her in my life. And she is an award-winning coach. She specializes in working with VIP clients, Tony and Oscar nominees, and created the Money Codes, which really talks about your relationship with money and how that's wired and how other people's relationships with money may be a little bit different, and gaining an understanding of that can help you make powerful connections and create successful businesses and wealth in your life. And something that is really unique about Vinca is that she was a key figure in helping bring down the Berlin Wall. So Vinca, I welcome you to the show.
Woohoo! Thank you.
Glad to have you.
Well, I'm excited.
Good. I love it. And what I would love to know is your why. And I've had the privilege of hearing you share it in many different formats about why you do the work that you do and why you continue to do it and share. And I would just love if you would share that with our listeners today.
Well, yeah. Growing up behind the Berlin Wall, I grew up with no freedom of speech or freedom to travel, freedom to build my own business. It's hard to, convey that when you grow up that way. And so growing up this way, I made myself a promise. I want to bring freedom into the world. At that time when I was growing up, it was just very little steps, and we did a little resistance here, and we did a little resistance here. It was just sharing that, with voting, and it was so interesting growing up and knowing that you can't read certain books, or if you say the wrong thing, you go to jail. And so I'm bringing that kind of freedom because we fought hard for that freedom. Like, we were part of the political underground, meeting. Creating movement, meetings, and it was really dangerous because we didn't know what was going to happen to us. And, in the fear of torture, one of my godmothers was 11 years in political prison. And so I knew what would happen if you get caught. So there's this, there's this, a lot of people have to choose or choose not to, and that's the sad part. You have to sometimes do scary things where they make you feel really alive, but at the same time they're so scary. And when we took that on us, creating a movement and getting out on the streets and sharing it to the world, no matter what happens, if you're going to get shot or not, that we want our freedom, that's when we became alive. That's when I felt alive, and a lot of other people. But it was so scary because the guns were right there. And so I'm bringing that to a lot of people because, you know, a lot of times we hide behind the composure, where we play it safe, where we play our lives safe, and where we, you know, are not inspired, and we just do the one repetitious thing over and over and over again, and you know, and we struggle. And so I'm bringing that into this world, and it paid off for us because, you know, we went on the streets, and it was the most powerful feeling when you stand up for your freedom and you walk down the main street. You walk down that street and you'll feel alive, and more people joined us, and we had a movement of 4 million people. And then after our biggest demonstration, the side effect was that the wall came down. Boom. Mm-hmm. Just like that. Who would have thought? You know, and I always teach it like this, that, you know, the same thing with money. If you stand up for something that you believe in and you feel alive and you keep going at it no matter how scary it is or how, you know, hopeless it sometimes seems, you know, money will be a side effect if you do it right. And for us, the side effect was that the wall came down, and that was very powerful. Now, the experience I had then was that, you know, I grew up in a completely different economy system, and I lived in this, we lived in this kind of a power war because there was no government for like 6, 7, 8 months. And and there was also no economic structure. And so I became part of, you know, being in politics, rebuilding everything. And I learned a lot about people, about how we are with money. And coming here to the States also, you know, there were people who had different patterns around money. You know, it's like, what is this? People are different here. What's happening? There's some people who are like this, and some people who are like that, and people were responding differently, communicating differently, you know, relating differently, trusting differently. And so this is where the money codes came in, because I saw different patterns of people, and then I realized that it had to do with how much money they grew up with, and that defined them in some form of how they were trusting, or how they were communicating, or how they were relating with each other. And that's where the money codes came in. And it was really, you know, clear to me then when I met my husband. We were married for 15 years, and I met my husband's family, which was so different from my family. And I was like, what is this? And I realized, oh my God, they're a completely different money code than my parents, you know, and they had a totally different way of relating with each other than my parents had, and relating to my husband as a child, as their, you know, as their son, than my parents had. And that's where everything became really, really clear. And then I did, you know, 20 years of research that I put into this. And, yeah, and I would love to share some, because the why in this is, it's becoming really, really clear to me more now. My why is changing a little bit. So the thing is that what's happening is that we are living pretty much in a very unsustainable economic system. Right?
And Vinca, I'm so sorry to cut in. Just we do need to go to a commercial break.
Sorry.
So no. I love it, and definitely want your why to be shared. So if I can just have us take a pause right now, and listeners, when we come back, Vinca's going to share with us her why. So thank you so much. Enjoy your break, and we'll be right back.
Live up to your fullest potential. This is the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Want more positivity in your life? Are you ready to get healthy, happy, and energized? Join the Stella Donna Goddess Gals, Cynthia Bryan and Heather Brittany, for a power hour of stimulating, supportive conversation on Star Style. Be the star you are. A lineup of best-selling authors, celebrities, and experts join the effervescent mother-daughter dynamic duo in this upbeat, positive, life-changing talk radio playground. Star Style. Be the star you are. Wednesdays, 4 to 5 p.m. Pacific, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Lend us your ears. It's power time.
Do you or somebody you love have a struggle with abuse? You don't need to be a slave to your abuse anymore. Listen for Beyond Abuse, Beyond Therapy, Beyond Anything with Dr. Lisa Cooney. Dr. Lisa overcame struggles in her own life. 2 decades of sexual, emotional, and physical abuse nearly took their toll. In her 20s, she turned her life around and set upon a path to help others. She can help you find the key to take control of your life, too. Listen every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
Now there's a new destination for video content, voiceamerica.tv. Just like our radio channels and so much more. Voice America Variety, Health and Wellness, Business, Sports, Green Talk, Power Up Motorsports, and Seventh Wave Network now have their own video channel components. Plus, check out exclusive programming, including movies, music, educational courses, science and history, current events, and short features. High-definition, premier quality programs available 24/7. VoiceAmerica.tv. If you think you've seen online TV like this before, let us surprise you.
Success starts here. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com. It's your world.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall-Griter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back. We kind of had a cliffhanger as we were going to break there, and I wanted to make sure we honored that. And Vinca, you were just about to share some of what you're seeing in our society now and your why and how it's been evolving and shifting and what it's become now. And then during break, I had asked if you would also have that share and tie into the free gift that you've made available to us.
Yes. So the biggest why that I have now is that, we're, as a society, or, the whole planet, really, we have to think about how do we sustain ourselves in an unsustainable economic system, right? Because we're using up the resources much too fast. And how do we fit in as a person, as your money code in this economic system that is unsustainable. And some people, they are afraid of making money, or they just stay down, or stay out of the game because they feel so uninspired by the economic system that we live in, and they avoid it so much. And I really encourage people to, stand up and really, make the system better, bringing your own gifts that you have in the world in there, and, get out of this unsustainability. Because, some people don't think at all about this, economic system at all, or the sustainability of all. They just keep making money and they're very successful. And then there are people who are so aware of it, and then they take themselves out and not participate at all in it, and they always struggle. And for me, it's about, creating a bridge between the money codes and not separation that's more and more happening. More and more people have less, and then there are less people having more money. And so there's a certain stretch that's happening in a society, and, and I've been already through economic change, so I know that change is coming through this system, and how do we do that in a way that it's healthy, that we think well about everyone, that you think well about you making money and bringing you gifts into this unsustainable economic system, where you are helpful and you can be part of it and can be part of the change, and that's my biggest why. And the thing that really starts with everything is knowing which money code you are and which, money codes everyone else is. And then you have compassion because you understand where they're coming from, their hurts, their fears, their dreams, And that understanding will help you to function better in the world, make money better, create a better business that way, because when you know people, it's just more powerful. And then knowing yourself is really important, because, you guys were talking beforehand, it's like, all those things that came from our parents to understand why we do what we do, because our parents did a certain thing with money, or they were struggling with making money, or just working hourly wages, or never having enough, or always had enough, or, all those things that come to play in our ancestry. And so the money codes, my gift here is that you can find out an overview about the money codes, finding out who you are. You can watch a video, you can download the overview, and then you can apply actually for a money code breakthrough, where you get together with a money code coach, one of our coaches, and you can actually find out how you can build your business or build your life better around your money code. And I think that's really powerful. But the biggest thing that I have for everyone is to lose their composure about, how we struggle or try to make everything right when it's not. Yes. And we try to pretend that everything is right, and it's not. And it's time for us, because we have very little time to fix this, but it's time to stand up and to really get engaged and look at our fears and all this good stuff that gets in the way.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Vinca, for sharing. I appreciate your passion and your the fire, in a sense, fire in your belly around this to really empower people in this way. And I thank you for making that gift available to all of our listeners. So just as a reminder, listeners, you can access those free gifts that Naomi and Vinca have shared with you on the host page for the show. If you go over to the right-hand column, you will find the link that says free show gifts. You just click on that, input your name and your email address, and the window or the door will open up, and you can select those gifts that are most supportive to you. And I wanted to give you a peek preview of what is going to come next week, or a sneak preview. We're going to be talking about igniting your potential and helping you shine. So our weekly show, our next show, will be on Wednesday, the 11th, from 2 to 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Remember, replays are always available. You can look us up on iTunes and get connected in that way too. And our two powerful speakers will be we have Vinca today, but Victoria Buckman, who wants to help you connect with your soul on a deeper level. And then Linda Lee, who is a transformational coach, will really help you in tapping into your potential. So it's going to be an exciting, power-packed show. And then I wanted to really turn us back to our hearts and look at some of those questions or concepts that we opened up the show with. Really being willing to stand up and to ask that question, what can I bring forward in a more powerful way? And really, what are they going to do? If I bring me forward, if I share, and some of what, like Vinca was saying, that we become less composed and more authentic, in a sense, and really being real and bringing ourselves forward. And with some of the great tips and tools that Naomi shared about really understanding your innate gifts, I encourage you to dig into that information a little bit. I almost wish we had a show twice as long so we could dig into each of these areas at a deeper level, but we wanted to give you a taste. We wanted to give you some quick things to think about to really help you step into your life in a more powerful way and shine. So what I want to encourage you to do this week is really look for opportunities to step forward in that way that was placed on your heart. Really proactively looking for ways to pour into what you need, to find tools, to find connections that are going to help you move forward in a more powerful way that will enable you to bring more of who you are authentically, not overly composed, more richly into your life. That's my heart's desire for you. I want you to stand up, to be seen, to shine. So what I would like to charge you with, not the credit card charge, but kind of charge you in stepping forth, is to really, really bloom where you're planted and shine. Thank you. Look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall-Greiter, next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time and 2 p.m. Pacific Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.